I gotta remember to talk louder because the mic on this little webcam sucks. So I'll talk louder. Anyway, so why do I continue to eat junk food even though I have a serious heart condition where when I eat junk food I have chest pains, and also it makes me lose my breath like an old man. It makes going up steps like a burden on me, and it makes me exhausted. Like I eat junk food and I binge on it until literally I can't eat anymore because my not because I'm satiated, because my stomach can't take any more food without me vomiting it. And when I binge eat junk food to the point where I almost vomit, the next day I feel nauseous all day and I'm completely useless and I hate my life and I want to fucking die. Things are getting better, but a lot of times I just think, yeah, things could get better, but if I just would die right now quickly and painlessly, that wouldn't be too bad. So I still struggle with suicidal ideation because I'm so self-destructive and I have so many problems to overcome. But that's part of the journey, and I'm hoping by day 100, this is day 5, I'm hoping by day 100, most of these problems will have been solved. So why do I eat junk food? Well, I want a slow, painful death. All right. In 10 years, I want to be in a wheelchair with an oxygen mask, living in a hospital, slowly just rotting away um, because I couldn't take control over my own actions and I couldn't overcome my own impulses as someone with ADHD because I couldn't utilize my wisdom to change my behavior because I'm weak and lazy and stupid. And I just want that amazing pleasure that comes from junk food that causes the rest of my, that's for about, 20 minutes a day and then causes me pain for 16 hours out of every waking moment. Um, so yeah, that's why I do it. I want to die slowly and painlessly. I want my to damage my heart until it's like that of an 80-year-old man who's about to die of heart disease. Um, to the point where I'm about to die. Um, I don't want to seek out the world's best cardiologists or have a cardiology podcast to see if I might be able to cure the damage to my heart with stem cell therapy because they were able to reverse heart disease successfully 7 years ago by injecting stem cells into people's hearts. This could lengthen normal people's lifespans by like 80 years. You could have people living to 180 if you could, reverse the damage to their heart with stem cells. Because the heart is what tends to go in older people. That's what stops their life is their heart just stops working. Um, so I don't know why they haven't done more studies into it. I guess they just don't want, you know, older people living longer, and there's probably a lot of reasons for that, um, as you can imagine. Um, but you can get it done in other countries. It's illegal in other countries, stem cell therapy. So I can go to another country get it done as long as I get this marketing job, save up money, and then I can get it done and hopefully reverse my heart disease. And as the technology progresses, eventually I'll be able to cure it entirely um, in the countries where it's being allowed and where it's continuously being improved and getting better over time as we move towards being able to create organs out of stem cells because we've already created organs out of stem cells for mice that have worked effectively, like livers and kidneys and so on and so forth. But I gotta do more research into that, like I should if I want to live longer. So I should start a cardiology podcast. But I'd rather just watch anime instead while eating junk food and slowly just wasting away. So that by 5 years from now I can't work, and by 10 years from now I live in a hospital and I'm just in constant pain and eventually to the point where I just want to kill myself because I don't want to live anymore. Um, where I'll actually seriously want to kill myself. I guess that's the road I want to go on. I don't want any opportunities to fix my heart with stem cells. I already said that. Yeah, I want to continue to live in my parents' basement as long as I live, and then in the hospital. I don't want to eat healthy and have the energy and the drive to start my marketing career, get out of here, and live a great life. I also want another DUI, because over time my heart disease will get worse, and I'll use drugs to cover up the pain illegally because I won't be able to get enough drugs from my doctor. So I'll go out and buy different drugs, off the streets as I get older because my current medications will stop working as my heart disease gets worse. So I'll become a drug addict. So I'll go from a junk food addict to a drug addict. So That's the road I'm going on. Um, and I want incompetent doctors to kill me slowly. Like, why take the time to find highly competent cardiologists that actually can understand what happened and diagnose it properly, when I could just not give a fuck, not look into it, and wait until it's such a problem that I have to see local cardiologists, um, who hell had no fucking idea what to do with someone whose heart has been damaged by serotonin syndrome and has chest pains that last for hours or even days, because they have never heard of that and they can't figure it out because they're not very smart, um, unfortunately. But that's what you get in a small town. You don't get the best doctors. Um, and you know, my mom doesn't care if I suffer and die, so why should I? Like, I feel like, you know, if my mom actually cared, she would do what she did with my little sister and, help me find the doctors that can figure this problem out and get the treatment I need. She just left it for me to do it. It's like, well, why should I do it? Like, my life isn't that valuable anyway, and it's frustrating and sad, going to all these doctors. It's rough. Like, it happened to my sister too. Like, so many doctors were incompetent and gave her incorrect diagnosis, and she had to get see like dozens of different doctors till she found one that was actually competent and actually made medicine for her, compounded pharmaceuticals where they make unique drugs for her that actually work for her problem, because they're very well educated on things outside of drugs and surgery, and they understand all the other things you need to do, like change your diet if you have an autoimmune disorder that's slowly killing you. Because if you change your diet 99% of the time, that will significantly alleviate or even completely eliminate the symptoms of your autoimmune disorder until you die. And you know, heart disease is also something that can kill me, just like the autoimmune disease was killing my sister. But you know, I'd like my mom to help. She's a nurse in the hospital, and then I'd like her to help me figure it out. But I guess I'm alone. I have to figure it out on my own. I mean, I guess I could make appointments and ask her to come on days she's off or something. But yeah, I kind of feel sad that my mom didn't like take charge to make sure I got the proper diagnosis that I need. I know I'm older and she expected me to be an adult, but like it's scary having heart disease, and it's scary learning about how bad it is, and it will be scary to get like a timeline of how long I have to live until this heart disease becomes so insufferable that I won't be able to function anymore. Because I know, like, eventually the doctor who figures it out will be like, yeah, without like, unless that stem cell thing you're thinking about works, of which I'm not sure, then you have maybe another 10 years to live. Like, I'm scared to hear that, so I don't want to go to competent cardiologists because I don't want to know how much time I have left until it's unavoidable. But I know that time is also highly contingent on what I eat. But I also know that I don't give a fuck what I eat. I want to eat junk food, even if it kills me, because junk food tastes good enough that it's worse. It's worth making my heart not function very well. It's worth damaging my heart and causing more inflammatory damage to my heart. Um, it's worse. It's worth not having energy. It's worth feeling like crap all the time. It's worth feeling like shit. It's worth hating myself. It's worth all the self-loathing. It's worth the low self-esteem. It's worth looking like shit. It's worth feeling like shit. It's worth it's worth being a shitty human being for that mouth pleasure once a night from junk food. It's definitely worth it. So that's why I eat junk food even though I have a heart disease, because that is a completely logical approach to the issue. So, yeah. Now, why did I do that? Because sometimes an exercise like that, where you talk about, like, okay, why am I engaging in stupid behavior? And you kind of, are sarcastic about it and all that, helps you realize and, sticks in your head that, okay, this is what I'm doing to myself. Do I want to continue doing it, or do I want to stop and live a life where it's actually worth living, where I feel good 24/7 because I eat healthy, take the right supplements, do the right biohacks, like, the CES therapy and the HRV biofeedback training and stuff like that to help eliminate stress. And, of course, using the sauna because that adds 7 years to your life and increases your health span, not just your lifespan. I could do all those things, and I could feel great, and I could get in jiu-jitsu again and become a purple belt in like 5 years, and I could date amazing, beautiful women that inspire me, that are beautiful inside and out, and bring the absolute best out of me. I could do that. I could have a meaningful career where I help people. I could help start new schools that follow a new paradigm of education where students are inspired properly, like Marva Collins and Dr. C. Perry and Dr. Lorraine Monroe and Rafe Esquith and Jaime Escalante did, inspiring the students so that they work 10 times harder and actually appreciate the stuff you're teaching them and the power of it. Um, and also teach them critical thinking skills and allow them to come to their own conclusions, and have them learn how to use logic to differentiate between logically valid arguments and logically invalid arguments. And then they can use that in every area of life, whether they become a scientist or a therapist or a lawyer or what have you, or a parent or someone who wants to figure out how to deal with an illness, what diet to pick. Um, if you can differentiate between truth and lies, your life will be 1,000 times better. But we don't teach students how to do that. But my paradigm of education would do that. It would teach them not what to think, but how to come to their own conclusions, how to question their own presuppositions, how to take a Socratic approach to life, how to constantly challenge their own worldviews, and constantly undergo paradigm shifts by letting go of old opinions and old beliefs once they learn that their arguments for those beliefs are logically invalid or are not in line with the available evidence. So yeah, that's what I want to do in the future. But instead of doing that, I'll just eat junk food and live in my parents' basement until I die, because that's a lot easier. Like, why should I eat healthy? Healthy food doesn't taste as good. It doesn't make me fall asleep right away while I'm watching stuff. Like, if I eat healthy, I actually have to lie in bed in the dark in silence or listening to music and stuff. And I can't do that because then that will make me. If I fall asleep while listening to something, then if it keeps playing, then that wakes me up. Oh, I guess I could just have the video not auto play the next video. But yeah, I'd have to lie in the dark, not doing anything late at night, and then fall asleep instead of watching a laptop, because healthy food doesn't get put me into a food coma. So yeah, junk food's way better. It's so worth it. It's so worth destroying my life. It's so worth losing all my potential. It's so worth damaging my heart further and further, having more chest pains, and eventually having to become a drug addict to deal with the pain, and I don't know, go out and buy like opiates or whatever, or like more anti-anxiety medication or something that is also a muscle relaxer that relaxes my heart and my veins and my arteries and all that. And then become a felon, and then be in jail and not get proper medical treatment, maybe die in jail. I don't know. This is like the future part of future authoring, where you do two in future authoring. You do two futures. You do your ideal future if you do all the things you know you should do, and stop doing the things you know you should stop doing and could stop doing and would stop doing. You stop doing those things, and you do the things you know you should do. You describe your ideal future 5 years from now, of in every way, like the type of relationships you want, whether you want to be a parent or like be ready to have kids in 5 years, or whether your goal is to become a world class lawyer, civil rights lawyer, or your goal is to graduate college with a high GPA, or your goal is to get into the right college, or your goal is to have a better family, be a better father, or be a better son, or what have you. Have high quality friendships, work hard, play hard, have a job that's meaningful where you have a positive impact on the world. And also outside of work, have things you love, like practice guitar and singing, and go to jiu-jitsu and go camping, go rock climbing, and go take trips around the world, and you know, explore everything this world has to offer, and have a great work life balance and all that sort of stuff. And then you do That's your good future. And then you do future 5 years from now. You describe what your life would be like 5 years from now if you give in to your worst temptations. You don't do the things you know you should do that are hard to do, and you just give in to your worst possible attribute. So right now, this is an exercise in what I forget what it's called, but the negative future of future authoring. But I really need to write it down and do the full exercise because there's a lot of questions to it, of the aspects of it, to really give you a full picture of what it would be like. But this is me starting it off. But yeah, I'll start doing past authoring this weekend. I'll at least do like 30 minutes tomorrow. And maybe I'll do 30 minutes of future authoring too. Because those things really do have a profound change on your motivation. And I think I'll trip on shrooms tomorrow as well to help me reorient myself. So I should definitely do some past authoring before then so that I could ask the shrooms to help me accept the things I cannot change, about my past, and to learn what I can from my past and learn what direction I should be heading in. I mean, you got to go in there with intentionality. So I should ask this one question while I'm while I'm waiting for the trip to happen, and then the trip will answer that question. It's a beautiful thing. So that's it for today. Um, but yeah, if you struggle with a similar problem, please comment below. I will now I'll create a Discord server and I'll put it in the description. I'll do that now because I want to create community. So I'll invite anyone who comments to join my Discord server of people who are obsessed with self improvement but struggle to do their best.